think Cheryl's getting here. So it is 7:04. So I'd like to call a meeting to order. I'm doing the meeting. Rebecca is not here tonight. So let you know that. If we could get a roll call.
Carol, Ellen, and Barbara and Rebecca are all excused.
Okay. Do we have any citizen comments? I'm going to go with no. Okay. Hopefully everybody's got a chance to review last month's minutes. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
So move.
Second.
Ralph?
It was Ralph.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion carries. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's sure enough.
I've got this song in my head. I don't know. It's something about motion carrying. Do we have any correspondence?
The only thing I have is I received a couple of letters from the probate court, basically finishing out the estate of Martha Perry. I had run them by Ellen, and she said it was just a final recording. So we did get the funds from her estate. So we're basically all up to date on that.
Right.
And that was the only correspondence.
All right. So we get the treasurer's report.
Yes. If we look at the February column, you'll see that we took in $508.44 in February. We expended $4,538.14. It leaves us with a balance on hand of $28,757.25. If you want to look at it without all, before we leave this particular chart, if you look at your expenditures, you'll see that we are well within our budget guardrails. And so we'll just pay attention as we get closer to the end of the year, but I would expect we won't have any problems there. On the treasurer's report on the second page, you'll get a little bit more, less clutter. I just want to point out on our expenditures, you'll see that the adult programs and the children programs have been active. In fact, I believe this is the first entry of the year for both of those accounts. And again, the ending balance for February is $28,757.25. That's my report. Any questions?
Nope.
No, thank you.
Before I go, I just want to say that when it comes to the investment direction, that I'm comfortable with that direction. And I like the fact that we're moving from growth to income and then spending that for the benefit of the library.
Thank you. And let's see, we have the director's report for March.
Okay. I met with the Town Council Finance Committee to visit and answer questions about the library budget proposal. I made another plea for the library assistant hours and pay increase. It's always hard to tell which way they'll go with it. They're very non-committal. They listen, they nod, and say thank you very much, and that's it. We won't know until the final budget comes out what they decide to do. Bill Solms did ask me to email the spreadsheet I had put together with all the part-time hours showing the increase for the minimum wage, the 16 additional hours, etc. Maybe he'll be able to look at that and say yes or no or whatnot. But hopefully they will put a little more into that account than what the mayor has done. Also, for the first time ever since I've done the budget, I actually had one of the new town councilors talk about what a great asset the library is to the community and thanked us for what we do. So that was nice to hear.
I just want to say that Gail, I attended the meeting
Yes.
on Zoom, and I just want to tell everyone that Gail did a terrific job presenting the budget. She really did.
Great.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
The town council will finalize the budget to go to a public hearing on April 5th, with a town meeting on May 16th and a referendum vote on May 17th. Keep our fingers crossed that we can do a little more for the library assistants.
Yeah.
On the fiber grants, the fiber grant for Guilford Library was submitted to Universal Service Administrative Company, USAC, last week. If approved, the grant covers 50% of the installation cost, or $39,950. I'm also applying for a state library fiber to library grant that will cover the remaining 50% of the installation, plus the network equipment and fiber operations and maintenance for the first year. I am requesting $51,838 from the state library. This grant will be submitted, oh, here comes Brian, will be submitted once we hear from USAC. I also submitted the annual grant to cover 50% of the cost for the fiber maintenance and operations at Bill Library, or $888. This is the first year we're able to include the internet cost because we are now CIPA, Children's Internet Protection Act compliant. The annual cost for Bill Library is much lower than Gales Ferry's cost will be because Bill Library is closer to the hub than Gales Ferry. And in fact, it runs right in front of the library from the high school to the police station. So we're right there.
Perfect.
On the building news, we're getting closer to installing video cameras in the basement of Gales Ferry Library so staff can keep track of people in the basement. Public Works install the wiring. Lion staff will terminate the wire ends so Public Works can then install the cameras in the best locations. We've had the cameras for a while and have been waiting on the wire installation. The desk situation for the children's librarian at Gales Ferry has become critical, and I've come up with a solution. Stacy and Nancy before her are using an antique wooden desk. The issue has to do with the knee hole, which is too small to take a new chair. She's using an old chair that is falling apart, very uncomfortable and giving her backaches. We've tried several times to find a replacement chair with no luck. Public Works made the desk she uses at Gales Ferry Library, and they're willing to make one for her at the library. It can be customized to fit the space and will have room for an appropriate chair to fit comfortably. We have a new chair she can use and only have to pay for the materials for the desk. Public Works has priced it out to be approximately $600 to $800. We're waiting for a final cost on the laminate desktop, but even at the high end, it should not go over $800. I'm hoping to be able to cover most of it from the library budget, but if not, I would like to use some money from the Library Commission Special Fund. And rather than trying to transfer any of the money from the investment accounts, I think there is some money that we can use possibly in the online computer account that we won't be using this year. So between the two, I'd like to be able to have that desk put together for Stacy before I leave. Some of the early librarians, the wooden desk is an antique and has a lot of history with the library. Some of the early librarians signed their name inside one of the drawers. I don't want to get rid of the desk. We'll move it into the local history room where it can be used for storage, but won't be used as a desk per se. I've spoken with, I see your look, Carol. Like, wait, I have spoken with Andrea about this, and we think that it can go in front of the fireplace instead of the table it's there now. Take the table down and put the desk there. So,
I think it's a good idea only if you sign the desk.
Only if I sign. I think that can be arranged.
Good.
And I've been putting together information and procedures that I hope will be useful to the new director. And I'm also trying to clean out files and papers that are no longer pertinent. And that's my report.
Thank you. That can't be easy to do. It's just.
I try to dedicate a little bit of time each day and do a little bit.
Yeah, but it brings back some memories too.
Yes.
Thanks, Gail. Does anybody have any questions about her report? I do have one. So you were saying that you want to use some library funds, a line item rather than using the Library Association?
Well, at this point in time during the year, it's a little bit complicated to get money transferred into our special fund. The budget gets set in the beginning of the year, and they really don't like to change it, especially this close to the end of the year, unless it were really a grant or some item like that we had to show in the budget. But with the $1,300 in the online computer account, that's in there in case we have to replace computers during the year. And I don't foresee us having to do that this year. So what I would do is within the special fund budget, transfer some of that into the miscellaneous line item and take it from there.
Thank you.
We're going to do that under new business as a motion, correct?
We can do it as a motion. And probably what I would do is the top is being done separate from the purchase of the wood. I would take one piece of it from this budget and the other piece from the regular fund budget.
Thank you for explaining that. So now we have some committee reports. We have anything from Friends?
I have no report.
Well, that was fast. The investment committee has a lot of information to share with us for the investment committee report. Somebody want to do that?
I know Cheryl wasn't at the last meeting. John or Carol, do you want to give the report? And I know Harry is here as well.
I'm here if there are any questions I can help with.
Just that we kind of wrapped up any of the tweaking of the wording that we wanted to do for what we'll be presenting tonight for the guidelines. Can't think of anything else. I haven't really been thinking about that lately, frankly.
There's basically 4 separate accounts,
Mm-hmm.
and we're treating them all pretty much the same way in terms of moderate growth in income. With the building fund and the William Holton fund, any of the dividends that come each year would be reinvested into those funds until such time as we need them. With the 2 library commission accounts, there is the possibility of taking the dividends each year and rolling it into the special fund budget. Could be used to supplement books. It could be used to supplement programs if we wanted to put some of it into programs. If there was something special that we wanted to get for the library. I think one of the things that I had recommended to Rebecca is assuming the guidelines get approved tonight, invite Sal to come to the April meeting and have it as an in-person meeting. And we can talk with him about what you could expect in terms of dividends on those 2 accounts. One of the other things that I have mentioned off and on to the committee is in the special fund budget, there is an investment line for Gales Ferry books. And that is money that was given to the library in the early 90s when the Gales Ferry Free Library Association disbanded. And they gave us a lump sum of money, 60%, which they said could be used for the library edition. And that was the edition we did in the early 90s. And they wanted 40% of it to go towards books. That $18,680 represents the 40%. And the commission voted at that time, instead of spending the principal, to spend the interest each year. Back then, when we first started doing it, we were getting $600, $700, $800 a year in interest. That's not the case now. We're lucky if we get $50. And I have suggested, and this would be a commission decision, that that money be moved to the Library Commission Gales Ferry account, investment account, to earn more interest and to take the dividend each year to put towards books for Gales Ferry. I did bring this up with Marcia, the former finance director. I spoke with her last week, and I knew she'd be familiar with the account. And I mentioned what we were thinking, and she did not see a problem with moving the money. In fact, she said that makes a lot of sense. to move it to a place that would earn more interest. But again, it's a decision for the Library Commission to make if they want to do that. Anything else to add, John?
I don't. That's good. Good job.
And thank you, everybody who worked on this. It was very easy to read. I appreciated that. The guidelines that you put forth. Appreciated that.
Let me just add, Cheryl had a lot to do with that. She came up with a chart idea, which made it a lot easier to flow and read.
I was able to just write down all funds, moderate growth, and income, and that for me to just get out of that, just reading it was good. So, thank you. Search committee, the library director search committee. Carol's going to share the
report. In particular, Rebecca and Barbara had a meeting this past week, but I put together a couple of sentences about the whole process because I don't think we have reported to the commission. The search committee has been working with the town on finding Gail's replacement. We met in late February to plan a procedure and met with Don Steinhoff, the town's HR person. He agreed the commission would take an active role with candidates and interviewing, although the town would handle the advertising and arrangement and would have the final say. But our bylaws state we are to make a recommendation, and we clarified that we plan to do that. He sent us his 4 interview questions, which we thought were very good ones. We only wanted to change one word, actually. And we brainstormed material for additional questions. We eventually worked those into 4 to go with his, and he was happy with our questions. We received 8 applications after the town received them, I guess. He forwarded them to all of us, though. And we read them, giving them tentative ratings, and then met and discussed them in person. And on March 11th, we chose 4 that we thought should be interviewed. Barbara will be one of the interviewers, along with Dawn, the HR person, the mayor, and perhaps the finance director. And we hope to have an area library director also as one of the interviewers, which Mayor Fred and Dawn have agreed to in concept. So we're hoping to have that happen. On the 17th, Rebecca and Barbara had a productive meeting with Dawn and the mayor. They agreed on the questions with only a minor change to each group. They had come up with almost the same group to interview as we did, and after they discussed it a little, it was agreed that the commission's choices are the ones that will be interviewed. And Barbara was not sure of the date, but she thought they were going to be starting interviews March 31st. So things are moving along, and we did have a number of candidates that were seemed worth interviewing. So I don't know whether I can answer any questions, but if there are any, I'll try.
Can you share any names with us?
No, I can't do that. I don't believe that's appropriate.
Okay. I knew that was going to be the answer, but I thought
And Barbara had said the same thing. She wasn't able to be here, but she and I talked today so that she was able to tell me what happened at the meeting that we went to a few days ago.
I can say it's been a really good time working on this committee, and the questions and the ideas and the thoughtfulness that's gone behind trying to get somebody that could come close to Gail has been a process. So we're doing our best with that.
It has been a good process. I was more worried ahead of time, but I think it's going well.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you, Carol. Okay, so we'll move on to old business. And that's the budget.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing a draft special fund budget, but that has not been asked for yet, and it's still a little bit early. So perhaps next month I'll have one that I will present.
Okay. Thank you. So we have new business. There's a motion or some can get a motion to approve the investment guidelines for the funds held by the Bill Library Association.
So moved.
Second.
As printed.
Any discussion about it?
You need a second.
I think Carol seconded it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did. And I wrote it down.
Any discussion?
I'll just add that Harry, as our ex officio member, was a big help during the process.
Oh, yeah.
As someone who understood investments, he gave us all a good education.
Thank you.
Whether we could have waded through it without him.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. So we have a motion to use the funds from the Library Commission account held by the Bill Library Association to purchase materials to build a desk for the children's room of the Bill Library. A motion?
So I'd like to alter that just a little bit, because when I actually got the cost, it was lower than I thought it was going to be. So I don't believe we need to move money from the Bill Library Association at this point. I think there's money within my budget and the special fund budget that we can use to pay the cost. Well, I'd like to say that.
How would you modify the motion? Yeah. Motion to use funds from the library.
From the special fund and the general fund to purchase materials. So use funds from the special fund is the Library Commission account.
Right.
So you can say special fund and general fund to purchase materials to build a desk.
So
we don't have a motion yet, right? So,
right. Someone needs to move.
I do. Is there a second?
I'll second. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Thank you. On behalf of Stacy, thank you.
And her knees.
Yes, and her back.
In the back, yeah.
Yeah. We have a motion to invite Sal to attend the April meeting to discuss investments. Do we need a motion for that?
That could be a consensus.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And to meet in person for that meeting.
Okay.
And that would be a Bill Library.
And would that be something you'll have Rebecca do?
Yes,
Okay.
she should be back for that.
Okay.
Actually, I will reach out to Sal. I will send him the approved copy of the guidelines and invite him to come.
Okay. Any other new business?
Gail, do you want a motion to move that $18,000?
I think it would require a motion to do that, yes.
You want to do it this meeting or the next meeting?
Well, if we do it now, we can have it all set up for sale.
Okay, I'll make that motion then.
Okay. Does everyone understand the motion?
Second, but why need a wording, John?
A motion to move. Motion to move the investment line in the special fund budget of $18,680 to the Library Commission Investment Fund for Galesbury Library. And
I said, yeah.
the dividends annually for books for Galesbury Library. I think that should all be in the motion.
That was my motion.
Do we hear a second?
I'll second.
Why,
Cheryl.
with that?
Cheryl will second.
Cheryl, okay.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Fabulous, motion carries.
Thank you all.
If there's nothing else tonight, we have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Next meeting is April 18th at the library, 7 o'clock.
Did we get a second to adjourn?
Second.
I'll second.
So Brian seconds. Okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Gail, you said the next meeting is?
April 18th at 7 o'clock at the library.
Okay, so we'll have the adjournment, I guess, would be at 7:36 p.m.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
It'll be nice to see everyone in person.
Will be.
A very long time.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Harry.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and send them to you tomorrow.